From Harry Potter to Eragon, audiences have witnessed some of their favorite books turned into disappointing films. Adapting a popular book into a movie can be risky, and sadly some fall short of expectations and flop at the box office. If you've ever thought the book was better, you're not alone. Here are the top examples of popular books turned unsuccessful movies. Where'd You Go, Bernadette, didn't live up to expectations in its transition from book to film. Despite a talented cast and director, the movie failed to make its budget back in the box office. The Golden Compass film, based on Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials trilogy, featured big names and armored polar bears, but was a box office flop and received mixed reviews. The other two books were never adapted into movies. Follow MSN for more entertainment content. Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer movie based on a series of books failed at the box office despite having Heather Graham in the cast, unable to make back its budget. The series may be unfamiliar to those without kids of a certain age. Check out the most memorable killer animals in movies. Battlefield Earth was a controversial book and an absolute box office disaster when adapted into a film in 2000. Despite being popular within a certain organization, the movie was considered one of the worst ever made. Check out MSN for more entertainment news. The Giver, a popular middle school novel, was turned into a movie starring Jeff Bridges and Meryl Streep. However, the film didn't have a great run in theaters and was quickly forgotten. Perhaps its association with school assignments turned people off. Stephen King's The Dark Tower was adapted into a movie in 2017, but unfortunately it didn't live up to the hype. The book series was too large and complicated to fit into one 95-minute movie, resulting in poor box office numbers. Despite the many successful adaptations of King's work, The Dark Tower didn't quite hit the mark. Stay tuned to MSN for more entertainment news. The movie adaptation of Ender's Game was highly anticipated by fans of the science fiction novel, but despite a $115 million budget and Harrison Ford in the cast, it failed to make a big impact at the box office. The author, Orson Scott Card, has also been controversial, which may have turned off some potential viewers. Kevin Costner's mid-90s weren't great with his films, Waterworld and The Postman. The latter, which he directed, cost $80 million and focused on a post-apocalyptic world in 2013. Unfortunately, it failed both critically and financially at the box office, making only $20 million. The Lovely Bones book was a huge success, so it was adapted into a movie by Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson. Although Stanley Tucci received an Oscar nomination, the movie was only a marginal financial success and didn't live up to the book's popularity. The Girl on the Train tried to follow in the footsteps of Gone Girl with a pulpy book-to-movie adaptation. But it didn't quite measure up in box office success or critical acclaim. Despite making money, it was ultimately seen as a disappointment given the hype surrounding it. Follow MSN for more entertainment news. The adaptation of John Green's novel, Paper Towns, didn't quite measure up to the success of The Fault in Our Stars. Despite making money through a low-budget production, the movie seemed lackluster to most viewers, only appealing to a niche of young adults. With a rating of 56% on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic, Paper Towns seemed to miss the mark. The 2004 movie adaptation of Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events struggled to fit 3 novels into one film, despite a strong performance from Jim Carrey. The Netflix series, which can stretch the story out over many episodes, has found success and may be benefiting from people's love of binge-watching. The film had a budget of $140 million but only made $209 million, killing any plans for a franchise. Check out MSN for more exclusive entertainment content. Tim Burton's 2016 film, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, had mixed reviews from critics, but still has a loyal fanbase from its source material. Despite making $87.2 million in the US and Canada, it needed the worldwide box office to turn a profit, as other recent Burton films have struggled to make a cultural impact. The Mortal Instruments City of Bones was supposed to be the next big thing in YA book to movie adaptations. Unfortunately, the first film was mediocre and plans for a sequel were cancelled. But don't worry, there's still plenty of other entertainment content to check out on MSN. Up next, another teen sci-fi flick adaptation. I Am Number 4 failed to impress both audiences and critics, with a lackluster debut at the box office. This potential franchise never made it past the first film. Stay tuned for more entertainment news. In 2010, Gulliver's Travels received a film adaptation starring Jack Black. Despite previous successful adaptations, this rendition was a major failure at the box office. Critics panned the movie and it debuted at number 8. Black was even nominated for a Razzie Award but lost to Ashton Kutcher. Follow MSN for more entertainment news. In 2003, the beloved children's book, The Cat in the Hat, was made into a movie starring Mike Myers. However, the film was a disaster, with Myers looking like a nightmare as the title character. Rumors suggest he made the movie to make up for not making a film based on his SNL character Dieter. Despite only being 82 minutes long, the movie barely made a profit and is considered a monstrosity. The book Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter was a strange success, joining the trend of mashup stories. However, the film version of the novel about the 16th President of the United States fighting vampires was a flop and a bad movie with a high production cost of $99.5 million. Despite this, it brought in $116.4 million at the box office. Tom Hanks and Bruce Willis starred in The Bonfire of the Vanities, 1990, based on a Tom Wolfe novel and directed by Brian De Palma. But it was a huge bomb, making only $15.6 million against a $47 million budget, making it one of the biggest box office failures of all time. The Scarlet Letter turned into an erotic thriller starring Demi Moore and Gary Oldman, nominated for 7 Razzies, and barely made more than $10 million at the box office. Roger Ebert famously loathed this movie. Check out MSN for more exclusive entertainment content. In 1984, Dune was turned into a movie with David Lynch as the director. Despite its ambitious take on the novel, the film was a flop. Now, Denis Villeneuve has succeeded in splitting the book into 2 films, bringing the sci-fi classic to the big screen once again. The adaptation of Douglas Adams' beloved book, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, proved difficult with its British sensibility and lack of big-name stars. Martin Freeman and Mos Def performed well, but the movie failed to meet audience and financial expectations. Follow MSN for more entertainment news. The beloved book, Billy Bathgate, by E.L. Doctorow, which has won awards, was made into a movie with stars like Dustin Hoffman and Nicole Kidman, but failed to make a profit. The movie cost $48 million and only made $15.5 million at the box office. Perhaps casting Bruce Willis in a period piece was not the best choice. The Woman in the Window was a best-selling novel turned Netflix movie with Amy Adams as the lead. Despite its potential, the movie didn't gain much attention and was usually talked about negatively. Check out MSN for more entertainment news. The 2013 adaptation of The Great Gatsby, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, was a highly anticipated film, but it was met with mixed reviews. While it did make money at the box office, it wasn't a huge hit considering its $105 million budget. Some critics found it to be bombastic and over the top, leading to disappointment. Follow us on MSN for more exclusive entertainment content.